the record that was held on the blockchain when investigation did analysis of what has come in to that wallet that we identified as the collection wallet by the promoters, by CBEX, read for over $46 million if you convert it.
Nigeria's anti-graft agency says it's prosecuting promoters of the collapsed crypto billion exchange CBEX over their alleged role in a multi-million-dollar Ponzi scheme. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission disclosed this during a public hearing organized by the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions. An EFCC representative, Mr. Dean White, told lawmakers that forensic blockchain investigations traced more than $46 million in stablecoin transactions to digital wallets used as collection points by the scheme promoters. White explained that although early public estimates of the losses were inflated, verified analysis confirmed that over $46 million in USDT moved through the identified wallets. He added that investigators have already identified more than 1,200 victims in Lagos and Ogun State, warning that the nationwide figure is expected to be significantly higher as more complaints continue to emerge.
As at the point of investigation, was reading about 1.3 trillion. But the record that was held on the blockchain when investigation did analysis of what has come in to that wallet that we identified as the collection wallet by the promoters, by CBEX, read for over $46 million if you convert it. Because the virtual asset that was going in was a stable coin. And it's one of those assets that is backed by a commodity one for one, which is dollar, USDT. And the victims that we have been able to identify, within this period from only 2 states, which is Lagos and Ogun, just above 1,200, but we believe there are more. Now, when we looked at what happened to the flow of funds, we found out that these monies will come into the wallet and it kept on bouncing off different wallets on the blockchain. It gets to points where what is referred to as smart contract will hold it at a node called a bridge, and it will send it off to other wallets. Apart from the promoters who are the identified Nigerians that promoted this, we were also able to identify some beneficiaries that were behind these promoters that were from Asia. And as we speak today, their offices have been shut down. Some of their infrastructures have been seized because it provides evidential value for prosecution in this case. And some funds that were found on the blockchain, we were able to block them. And we have put in an interim forfeiture order, and we have started off with a process of a final forfeiture, and by the grace of God, in the shortest possible time, we're at the brink of receiving that. It will also interest you to know that the promoters, the Nigerian promoters, are currently being prosecuted on different charges for promoting an unlicensed exchange. We also like to, give our appreciation to the Security and Exchange Commission, because at the start of this, they flagged it even before the ship went down. It was only during investigation that we saw that they had been giving out advisories to the general public not to interact, not to engage with this particular exchange. But people still went ahead in millions.
The Senate committee convened the hearing as part of the deliberations on a bill seeking amendments to the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act, BOFIA, following growing concerns over the spread of Ponzi schemes in the country, particularly the CBEX case. Chairman of the committee, Senator Adetokunbo Abiru, said the review is aimed at strengthening regulatory safeguards and protecting investors within Nigeria's financial system.
This engagement is conveyed pursuant to the constitutional mandate of the Senate to consider matters of critical importance to the stability, integrity, and the resilience of the Nigerian financial system. Today, we are addressing two issues of national significance. One, the consideration of the bill for an act to amend the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020, SB 959, and the motion mandating an investigative hearing into the operations of Ponzi schemes in Nigeria, with particular reference to the recent crypto bullion exchange CBEX incident. Both matters strike at the very core of financial system stability. They also strike at consumer protection, regulatory effectiveness, and public confidence in our economic institutions.
Declaring the session open on behalf of the Senate President, Senate Leader, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, emphasized that engagement with regulators and industry stakeholders is essential to building stronger legislation and restoring public confidence in the financial sector.
Stakeholder engagement strengthens legislation and ensures that our laws are informed by practical realities. The Senate will carefully consider all submissions and recommendations presented here today. On this note, it is my pleasure, as well as the pleasure of our distinguished minority leader, to, on behalf of His Excellency, the President of the Senate, formally declare this one-day public hearing of the Senate Committees on Banking, Insurance, and Other Financial Institutions, ICT and Cybercrime Security, Capital Market, as well as Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes on the amendment to the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2022, SB 959, and the investigative hearing into the operations of Ponzi schemes in Nigeria, with particular reference to the crypto bullion exchange incident, hereby open.
Also speaking at the hearing, the Central Bank's Deputy Governor for Financial System Stability, Philip Ikiezo, welcomed several provisions in the proposed amendments, including plans to establish a registry for systemically important financial institutions.
I would say that we recognize among the key innovations, namely the establishment of a registry for systematically important institutions. And that is very well in order and would allow a much better and sharper focus on supervising and oversighting institutions that have critical impact in driving significant parts of our financial system.